everybody. I'm Donna Levy-Hoffman. I'm Switzerland's leading healthy lifestyle specialist, guiding you to a healthy body bite by bite. Welcome back to Give Peas a Chance, where we touch all aspects of health, interviewing top experts in different fields. Today, I'm with the awesome Tammy Furey. Am I pronouncing the last name right?
Or made me sound very posh, Furey, but
Furey.
Furey. I quite like, thank you.
So today I'm here with the awesome Tammy Furey. Tammy is a parenting coach and a thought detangler. I love that because Tammy actually helped me detangle my thoughts at a certain point. I think it was probably a year ago already.
I think so, yeah.
And I consider you one of my angels because it was just awesome. It really did help me kind of kind of see the light behind the crazy and the mess that felt like it was my life at the moment.
Yeah, wonderful.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you very much.
Excellent.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah, lovely to have you. Tammy, you explain to us first what a parenting coach and a thought detangler is, for those who don't really know what that is.
Yeah, it's a parenting coach isn't about parenting, although you think it is. It's not. I'm not interested in telling you how to raise your kids. That's none of my business. What interests me is how, as parents, we get so caught up in the whole parenting thing that we become so tangled up here with all our thinking about it that we can't find our way forward anymore. So as you said, I help to detangle those thoughts. I help reflect to you what's going on in your own head. And just to say, like, now, is this really what's happening, or is this in here, all this noise in here that's preventing you from seeing your own parenting solutions, to be able to see what's really going on in front of you, rather than your ideas about what has happened, what will happen, what might happen, all of that type of thing. Yeah, and my work's built on years of my own personal experience, but also on a strong coaching background. And I had to get myself out of a very, very, very large hole of depression and anxiety. And I came to this work and it worked for me. So I was like, wow, if I can just share this with other people, with other mums, they don't have to go through the amount of suffering that I'm just seeing every day in front of me. It doesn't have to be like this. And that's my work. Yeah.
And it's awesome because I think moms, before you go into motherhood in general, I mean, of course we can talk in general about people, but you know, before you go into motherhood, most women are like, oh, I'm going to be an awesome mom and it's going to be so much fun and I'm going to have a cute baby and then it's going to be cute. And you don't really understand the struggles behind it and you don't expect them.
Yeah.
And when they come, and they do come, because parenting is the hardest job on the face of the planet,
yes,
it comes crashing down, doesn't it? It overwhelms you.
Yeah, and, it's so easy to be overwhelmed. And I had exactly the same as you. I had an image of a cute kid pitter-pattering behind me in the garden when I was with my organic vegetables and, you know, this whole kind of barefoot mama thing. I had this in my head. And then comparing that with the reality that I was in was shocking.
Yeah.
It was absolutely shocking. And I feel a lot of us are faced with kind of like the death of the parenting dream. It really is. We have this dream about how it was going to be, and then we find ourselves up to our elbows in nappies and with very little support. A lot of us, especially the expat community, we have very little support. And we just feel like we're drowning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this, when we keep harking back to this parenting dream, we really, really hurt ourselves. Because if we keep comparing the dream, which is a dream, folks, it's a dream, to reality, it really hurts.
Yeah. It really does. It's more, you know, it's also, it's not only our expectations of the child, which is kind of silly because they're a baby, but it's also our expectations of ourselves. We see ourselves as this like just amazing mom who has it all under control and everything is just fine. And it's really, I mean, when is everything perfect? It's really not ever perfect. It's just the way that we perceive things and actually take them in, isn't it?
Yeah. Actually, that's why I say that I keep focusing on the parents rather than the children, because a lot of the damage we do is our self-image of who we are as parents. And we can paint ourselves a very bleak story about, you know, how crackers we are.
Right.
Which just doesn't help.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't help at all.
No.
And we end up becoming worse because the more we believe it, the more depressed, the more anxious we become, and it just spirals downwards.
Right. Which, of course, when we're talking about health, it's just, I mean, it doesn't matter how healthy you eat. It doesn't matter how much you exercise. If you have this kind of heavy burden on your shoulders or in your head about anything really, then, you know, you're going to feel weak and you're going to feel unhealthy at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I also find a real correlation between the state of what's going on up here and the decisions we make to help ourselves health-wise. Because if we're feeling rubbish up here, we start comfort eating. We start reaching for sugar. We start reaching for chocolate, more coffee, wine, the mother's medicine of choice. A lot of wine, which makes the next morning even more difficult than it was before.
Yes.
Do we want to go out exercising? I would rather kill you. I want to sit in front of the TV because I feel so tired and drained, and just leave me alone. So in that space, we're not making the healthy decisions, which is feeding into the cycle of us going down.
It is a vicious cycle.
Because then we're also trapped within what our body is giving us, and our body is just giving us, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm unfit.
Right.
I'm dealing with various chemicals in my system, mostly legal.
Yeah.
I think everyone's go the legal route, but
Mostly,
mostly. But it's just so you're dealing with your biochemistry response as well on top of what's happening in your head.
Right. Which is just putting your whole system under stress. So you're not actually helping yourself by at least giving some nutrients and some clarity to your head, even with, you know, we're talking about healthy fats are really, really important to your brain and to your brain function. And when we neglect that and actually give our body, you know, bad fats and sugar and all that stuff, it's just not helping anything, is it?
No, it's really not helping anything, but we can't see that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So when we get to be able to see beyond our thinking, then we naturally start to make healthy decisions. We want to feel good. We're in this upward spiral of we want to feel good, so we make decisions that will support that,
right,
rather than seeking comfort in things that really won't help us.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing was just start to rise up.
I mean, because feeling good feels good.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
It does. Feeling good feels good. It does feel good.
When we worked together, we were mainly, which I actually loved, we mainly focused on gratitude.
Yes.
Which is something that's very misunderstood.
Yes,
because,
very.
you know, we say thank yous and we say please and you know, thank you for food. Yeah. How is that not enough?
Because that's an automated response that we should teach that to our children, because it just helps us get on in society. It's reciprocal. I'm nice to you, you're nice to me. But it's just an automated response. And very rarely is it backed up by feeling. And it's the feeling of gratitude that we're after. It's the feeling good. That's what we're after. With gratitude, I'm more pointing to what happens when we start seeing beyond thought. For me, our natural state is gratitude. If I wasn't talking myself out of it, this moment is wow. It's just wow. Everything is wow. I mean, I've got this light up here. I've got this computer. I've got a computer. I'm talking to you. You are miles and miles and miles away. It's amazing. They've got, and it's free. Wow. I had this wonderful cup of tea a moment ago that tasted really good. I had the smoothie over here and it tasted amazing. And I'm wearing my favorite fabrics. So I'm got linen. I adore linen. I'm in linen. I'm a happy beaver. Honestly, just life is gratitude, but we're busy thinking ourselves out of it all the time. And that's where just the tragedy of the human condition, that we're so busy. Oh, well, yeah.
So you're saying that we should actually stop our thoughts in a way.
No.
So how would you explain it then?
Go with that. I'd like to see you try.
I have many, many times. It just does not work, does it?
Funny that. No, not, I mean, not even a very experienced meditator can do that. And that's not what they're trying to do in meditation. Mm-hmm. I don't bring meditation into my work because I'm not a meditation expert. I'm more interested in day-to-day stuff. But if meditation supports your experience of life, then absolutely go for it. But not even they are trying to stop thinking. Mm-hmm. They are more observing thoughts. Thoughts are just this flow, this CNN ticker tape across your head all the time. But what we humans do, this is what I've talked about, this thought entanglement thing, is we don't let the ticker tape go across. We grab it and go, this one's really important and really interesting. And then that starts having more and more thoughts added onto it, and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We think more and more about it and think, this is true, yes, this is horrible, or this is rubbish, or this is and then this gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and so we become completely blocked,
right,
in our heads. Can't see reality for what it is. We can't see the moment for what it is, because we're so caught up in the tangle of our thinking, rather than just letting it flow by. And it will always keep coming. And it will always, it's not positive or negative either. This whole positive or negative thinking, just because you have a negative thought doesn't mean you have to pick it up and play with it. Mm-hmm. It's a pile of poo. Why would you want to pick it up and play with it? You don't want that. But it's not like, it's in my head, it's totally bad, and I can't believe that I think these type of things, and I must be such a bad person, and oh my goodness me, if anybody could see what's in my head.
Yeah.
It's just another thought going past. It's only when you start putting energy into it, picking it up, playing with it, believing in it, making a tangle of thought, that's when it becomes a problem.
So we're too much in our own head.
Yes.
Is that a correct?
Because that's constructing the way that we view the world.
Okay.
We're totally in our heads and believing, for example, that our kids are absolute loser, troublemaker, disastrous human beings, and everybody's looking at us, and therefore we must be such bad parents. If you're believing and thinking all those thoughts repetitively again and again, life is going to feel horrible, because you're seeing life through your thinking. It's a lens in which you see and interpret and react to the world. Yeah, your life's going to look pretty grim.
So how could gratitude actually help us, with living a healthier lifestyle, with exercising more, with eating healthier, with just everything that probably every single soul on this planet wishes and wants for their life to look like?
I love gratitude, especially when we orientate around food, because when you really get into gratitude with food, food is utterly amazing. It's amazing. And when you really start to look at what's on your plate, when you come away from automation, because you're living much more in the moment. You're seeing it, and I think we get in a lot of trouble with food when we're literally not seeing it. You know,
Right, we're just eating to eat so that we continue.
yeah, if you're really looking at food and go, wow, it's food, that's amazing, and I have this weird feeling in me that's hunger. Wow, so I need some of this food, and when I put this in there, the hunger stops, and then I get energy. Wow. And then when you start to get into like all the components of this food and how many people it took, not even, you know, the Migros Coke supermarket guys, the shelving guys, and then the trucks, and then but then going right back to the people who hopefully planted or did something very natural with it to help bring it into the world and the sun, and it's bonkers. Just a bit of food on your plate is just crazy, let alone the person who cooked it for you. Whoa. And getting that kind of going on with a Big Mac and fries,
it doesn't really work.
that feeling kind of doesn't get going on you. And also if you kind of got your gratitude going on, you're paying attention, you pick it up, and it just tastes
rubbish,
horrible. You notice you may be in a situation where you don't have access to much food, and then you're grateful for
anything. Yeah,
that's fantastic too. But and then you made a conscious decision to get food. You got the best you could, and then you eat it, and you're incredibly grateful for it. But then when you've got more choice and more freedom to make a decent decision, you will pick the things that taste good, really good, and nourish you. It's not just about the taste. It's like, wow, this is going into my body. This is amazing. So you really get into that, and so you just naturally make better choices. You naturally make better choices.
I mean, I totally agree, but obviously I totally agree. I mean, but I do feel that, you know, as soon as you're actually aware of the goodness that's on your plate, really, I mean, the colors and the textures and the, you know, we always bring up a topic of flavor and texture every single meal. We sit down and, you know, my kids don't even, you know, they're not, you know, they're almost perfect, but they eat a lot of stuff, a lot more than other kids, but they don't, you know, sometimes they won't like something because they're human. And instead of kind of going, oh, just try again, or, you know, oh, just eat it, or that's all we have, you know, just we get into a discussion about, you know, what didn't you like? Was it the flavor? Was it the texture? Was it, you know, the way it looked? Or, you know, feeling that it leaves in your mouth? Or just kind of get into all the senses that you get out of it, and all the kind of, and then you also fully understand really what is happening. Like you're really getting connected with all of your senses, and it enhances your, you know, your feeling of gratitude for what you're eating, because you know, we have so many ways of exploring our food, exploring the world in general. But, you know, if we're talking about plate, it's just amazing. So it's so much fun to just sit there and hear them say, oh, you know, that one was a little bit too grainy, or that was too soft, or that wasn't cooked enough, or
nice.
All that kind of stuff. So you started saying, for example, that, you know, one of the things we can do is just bring in gratitude to the dining table. What other small things can we do throughout the day that would actually make us more grateful, and with that have a happier and healthier, you know, mind?
One of the things that I think can get confusing about gratitude is a lot of gratitude books, and I was going to say I have a whole heap of them, but they're actually under the computer to get the monitor up higher. So sorry, they're down there. But is that there's a lot of tools and techniques. So people kind of think that you're trying to manipulate your thinking or into gratitude, and then they see it in that way. It's only part of the story. It's simply a way of training your brain to start seeing the good, because a lot of us have accidentally Facebook, thank you very much, trained our brains into seeing the negative Trump and other such things. And we're just seeing the bad all the time.
Yeah.
And that's actually having very interesting neurological, creating this situation in our brain where we are really practicing really hard. Those pathways, those neurological pathways in our brains are getting a lot of practice at spotting the bad. And so this isn't about positive thinking, but it's just about retraining the brain to spot things, to see, to help it see through our thinking, talking us out of spotting the bad and enabling us. It's just opening up the brain a little bit more to see the good. So you can do all kinds of fun exercises, all kinds of fun things throughout the day. You can have the absolute classic, of course, is the gratitude journal, which it does work because it is a form of training your brain and into looking out for, then recording the good, the amazing, the things that you're grateful for throughout the day. And then when life seems to suck mucheth, then you go back through your gratitude diary and remind yourself, because your thinking will tell you everything is wrecked, disastrous, never been good, everything's totally rubbish. And then you have evidence in front of you that actually it's not what you think it is.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tammy. Always such a pleasure to talk to you. If you want to find out more about Tammy, go visit her website at fureycoaching.com. And thanks a lot for everything. And we'll see you next time at Give Peas a Chance. Thank you.
Bye.